Pieces locked, they mesh. Time you cannot dash. Edge and corner find. Patterns in your mind. Joy in each line signed. Erase it, you'll not mind. Piece by piece we go. With each step we grow. Together we know. Puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air. Friends beyond compare. Pictures start to pair. Love and fun we share. Piece by piece we go. With each step we grow. Together we know. Puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air. Friends beyond compare. Pictures start to pair. Love and fun we share. Late into the night. Pieces fit just right. Heartbeats taking flight. In the morning light. Piece by piece we go. With each step we grow. Together we know. Puzzling joy will show. Glowing joy will show. Will show. Joy will show. Joy will show. Eight hands flying fast. Colors brightly clash. Pieces locked, they mesh. Time mind. Joy in each line signed. Erase it, you'll not mind. Piece by piece we go. With each step we grow. Together we know. Puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air. Friends beyond compare. Pictures start to pair. Love and fun we share. Piece by piece we go. With each step we grow. Together we know. Puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air. Friends beyond compare. Pictures start to pair. Love and fun we share. Late into the night. Pieces fit just right. Heartbeats taking flight. In the morning light. Piece by piece we go. With each step we grow. Together we know. Puzzle 8 hands flying fast, colors brightly clash, pieces locked they mash, time you cannot dash, edge and corner find, patterns in your mind, joy in each line signed, erase it, you'll not mind. Piece by piece we go, with each step we grow, together we know, puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air, friends beyond compare, pictures start to pair, love and fun we share. Piece by piece we go, with each step we grow, together we know, puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air, friends beyond compare, pictures start to pair, love and fun we share. Late into the night, pieces fit just right, heartbeats taking flight, in the morning light. Piece by piece we go, with each step we grow, together we know, puzzling joy will show, glowing joy will show, will show, joy will show, joy will show. Eight hands flying fast, colors brightly clash, pieces locked they mash, time you cannot dash, edge and corner find, patterns in your mind, joy in each line signed, erase it, you'll not mind. Piece by piece we go, with each step we grow, together we know, puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air, friends beyond compare, pictures start to pair, love and fun we share. Piece by piece we go, with each step we grow, together we know, puzzling joy will show. Laughter fills the air, friends beyond compare, pictures start to pair.
All right, greetings everyone and welcome to tonight's competition. It's lovely to see all our participants here. It's a full house tonight. We've got more than 100 puzzlers joining us. And yeah, we have a lot of viewers as well. So it's going to be very exciting. And yeah, welcome to my co-host Fruity tonight. Jim is on his way, I believe. He'll be joining us any minute now. Oh, there he is. There he is. Any second now. So greetings. Ruji, would you
I'm
like to tell us? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not sure who I'm hearing, if it's my own computer or someone else's, but I hear you double.
Okay. Can the viewers confirm if they're hearing me double as well? No. Okay. So it must be at your end, Fruji.
Weird, because I have earphones in. Okay, let me restart.
Okay. Maybe it's maybe you have it open in a second tab as well.
No, I just realized what the problem was. The live stream was on.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone.
All right. Greetings, Jim.
Hello there. Good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever everybody is. I'm really excited for this unreleased puzzle and to see everybody just crush it. This is going to be really exciting.
Yes, it's going to be a good one. We've already had about 70 people puzzle it already. It's an unreleased puzzle, and we're looking forward to seeing how the 50 Plus Cup get on tonight. It's anybody's game. It's up for anyone. It's not there's no clear top 10 or clear top 20, so everybody just does their best. And yeah, it is a big field tonight, so that will be very exciting. Jim, would you like to tell us about the theme for the evening?
Yeah, so the theme for today is what's a non-puzzling milestone or accomplishment that you're particularly proud of? Could have been like recently or in the distant past, just something that's that you're kind of proud of that's not necessarily connected to putting pieces together.
Yeah, so tell us about something that you're proud of, Jim, something perhaps that we're not aware of.
Oh gosh, I don't know about things that people aren't really aware of. I'm really proud that lately I've been getting back into practicing puns more explicitly. Because a long while back I was going to enter pun competitions and I was gearing up for that, and then I kind of went into hiatus. So I've been really proud about putting effort into getting back into that.
Well, feel free to practice tonight. I'm sure the viewers would be happy to hear, and the puzzle would be happy to catch some of those puns.
We'll see if that holds true. But either way, I'm sure pain will be involved. So
I think the subject of the puzzle could lend itself to a lot of puns. We'll see how you go. How about you, Frushi? What's something that's non-puzzling related that you're pleased of, that you've accomplished?
Honestly, when this question came up, when we talked about it, I have been thinking about it ever since, of like, what am I like particularly proud of? I actually have a hard time being proud of things. Like I tend to downplay and most of my achievements in general. So I always like try to like explain them away as in like, oh, I was lucky, or stuff like that. So I actually had to think about it a lot. And I think the latest achievement is actually that of how I learned German. Like I tend to forget about how hard it is to learn a language, to be fluent in it. And like that's something that I keep having to remind myself of, that's actually not a given that people learn that. And then other than that, it's actually like one more that I'm going to put in. It has been 9 years ago that I got my 3rd degree in university. So I'm like, okay, that's something to be proud of, I guess.
Well, now you have to tell us.
Today is the anniversary.
That's amazing. You have to tell us what the 3 degrees are now.
Well, the first one is English literature, the second was translation and interpreting, and then the third one was simultaneous interpreting.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I knew you had done simultaneous interpreting, but I didn't realize you'd done the other ones as well. So a triple whammy.
Yes, I went for all of them, like Pokemons.
Yeah, so for myself, when I was thinking was, well, the 2 things that come to mind is one, being a mum, because I didn't know anything about parenting. I was never a babysitter. I was never an auntie. Basically, Eric and I when we became parents, we were the first in both sides of our family. So our daughter Zoe was the first grandchild. So I didn't have much experience with kids before I became a mom, and I'm happy to say they're all alive and kicking. And so yes, I'm very happy to be a mom. It means a lot. And yeah, just like what Priji said about learning a language too, I'm happy that I learned a language. Yeah, people probably don't realize that I actually speak German because I love to speak English as much as possible. And with the live stream, I'm speaking English, of course, but I do spend most of my day speaking to customers in Deutsch and writing emails in Deutsch. So I have managed it. Okay, it's time to unwrap the puzzles and see what we have today.
I'm really looking forward to seeing people react to this because I was surprisingly happy with it when I opened it. It's not my style of puzzle, but I don't know. I was unreasonably happy when I saw this picture. It's so pretty. And Jim, you are now seeing why it's so very good material for puns.
Oh, it looks like a fruit basket of some kind.
Veggies.
Okay.
Yeah, so please go ahead and remove the plastic wrap as well. Check that the lid comes off easily, and then place the box back onto the table so that I know you're ready to go. So the title is Seed Catalog, and it's an image from the public domain. It's actually from Wood and Stubbs Seedsmen, so it is the actual cover of a seed catalog from 1900, the year 1900.
That is lovely. Well, I think a lot of our puzzlers are going to put some good roots down with this one.
So yes, everyone should have their puzzle unwrapped and on the table, ready to go. All right. Oh, okay. I just see one more person on screen who's still unwrapping. Yes. So as always, the time limit is 2 hours. You should have your timer blue screen showing at the moment with 2 hours. When you are finished, you will hit done on your phone or other screen that you are using to record your time. Yeah, remove the plastic as well. Okay. Let's do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Puzzle, everybody.
Good luck, everyone.
Have fun. Go fast.
Fly fast. So, what is the first vegetable pun that you can think of, Jim?
Well, let us think about this one. We can see that on this particular puzzle, there is a big piece of lettuce off to the side. And I know a lot of these puzzlers are going to have to be thinking all the way from their head down their tomatoes in order to try to work this one through. It does look like there's a high grade of I think that's pumpkin in the back, so we might be crowning a king or pumpkin, a queen or pumpkin of this particular puzzle as we go through. This is actually really interesting because there's a lot of target options early on that these puzzlers can aim for. Those beats might beat some difficulties for folks, considering that color is the same and it's duplicated. But if you can see some of the lighter distinguishing features, you might have a good time with that. The text looks pretty interesting, and I think the trick is going to be really targeting different regions of those texts rather than anything that has words on it. But it looks like there's some that are cursive. There looks like a few of them that are in a standard format. I do like the Louisville, Kentucky symbol that's down in there. This might run a little. This might run pretty quickly depending on how people are able to break down this image a little bit.
Yes, well, this is a really, really fun image. And like you were saying, there's a lot of writing over there. And I think most puzzlers have a kind of aversion to texts because they can be a little bit jarring. On this one, I think it's pretty friendly. Like, I think I did, for example, the writing way earlier than the vegetables. I basically did everything before I did the vegetables. And the good thing is, especially with the blue text here in the bottom and pretty much the top here as well, like they're all very, very different. So you can sort them very well as well. But the letters don't take up too many pieces. So you can recognize the letters pretty well on just one piece as well. So the letters are not that scary at all. And then the rest is also very, very sortable. The lettuce is the most jarring part of the entire thing, I think. So those are the ones that are super challenging. Other than that, this is a faster puzzle. I did this twice because I couldn't resist it doing once, especially because I was not super happy with my time. So my first attempt was 46:49 on this one. And then I had a 38:58. So that's kind
Congrats.
of the time. Thank you. So yes, so this is a good puzzle. And I think if I could do it for a second attempt under 40, then this is going to be the fast one. So we might see a lot of sub 50s today in the 50 plus club. So hopefully a couple of people are going to graduate. And this is also not one of those like purposefully super easy puzzles for people to just be fast. There are challenges in here, but yeah, it's doable. So it's a challenging one that can be a sub 50 here. So I'm going to be rooting for everyone to like hit a personal goal today.
Cool. Well, on screen, we're getting ready to cross the 4-minute line, and we can see that several of our puzzlers are about done with their flip. It looks like we have Madeline in the upper left-hand corner, Maggie in the upper middle, Maya in the upper right, Maximilian in the lower left, Montas in the lower middle, and then I think that's Maria in the lower right. And you can see that some of the that Maria has that area of the table sort of quarantined off, probably getting ready for in-person events where the table size is really specific. But I also liked seeing that Maya is doing this big sort up front. You know, the key to doing any sort of big sort is just the accuracy in which you're making the piles and making sure that they're not so big that you end up having to do a secondary or third or tertiary sort on top of that, because then you end up getting those extra touches. But with something like this, where it is pretty distinct color-wise, that might be a really strong play early on.
One tip that I can give to people that I only realized like once the puzzle was actually done, so it could have helped way more, is that the background actually helps you a lot with placing things. So the background is something that you can focus on very, very much, because there's also like in every part of the puzzle, it's slightly different. So that can help you. That's the hint I'm going to give for everyone. But if someone's an upfront sorter, so if someone like literally wants to sort the entire puzzle, they can do that with this one. There's not going to be pieces that like get stuck in the void and you can't sort them somewhere. You really can like organize everything very, very well, which I obviously didn't do, but it works. It can be done.
You can see on screen now Marie in the upper left, followed by Marina in the upper middle, Marta in the upper right. I think that's Mayday in the lower left, Merlin in the lower middle, and then in the lower right, we have Michael. You know, we're getting ready to cross the 6-minute line here. We can see that Marta is also going for that big sort style up front. It looks like Marina is already making headway on that on the border here. I'm not too familiar with this brand. Oh, this is the Speed Puzzle brand. Never mind. I'm used to seeing them in horizontal, so this portrait mode might throw a couple of people off. You can see Marina is cruising away on that border really, really rapidly. She's using this tactic of putting the pieces in the middle of the build field and then delivering those pieces out towards the frame, which is in contrast to what Merlin is doing in the lower middle there, where all those edge pieces are off to one side and then they're bringing it over and across into where they're building things. Little tweaks like that can have strategic advantages or disadvantages, and it really depends on what you're seeing and how you're trying to approach making that larger frame.
Yes, and what I can see with Marilyn right now is also something that I think is not necessarily very visible on the picture, or you might not have noticed, but the edges, there are some parts of the edge that are super recognizable that you can put together very well, and then there's this generic beige colored thing that is like all over. So those were probably the ones that stayed on the side, and then all the rest that can be assembled just by color has all been done. Also, I wanted to mention that Marina has written something that she's proud of that I definitely want to still mention, because she was saying that after the birth of her younger child, the midwife told her that she's probably never going to be able to run again. And then she actually did. So that's something incredible, because she did a 30-kilometer run in Sweden on the most famous trail, which is Lidingöloppet, as far as I can see. So she actually ran that, which is incredible.
That is wild.
Oh, and then she went even further and ran Ultravassan, 45 kilometers.
That is wildly impressive. Congrats, Marina.
That is unreal.
And if you're in the chat, go on ahead and post things that you're proud of too that aren't puzzle related. We know FJ is somewhat proud to be from Louisville, Kentucky, and I do want to point out it's Louisville and not Louisville, which even people in the States kind of play around with a little bit.
I didn't know that. Why is that?
For fun. I think it's
okay.
derived from a French pronunciation, but I could be very wrong there. I'm not a linguist and won't pretend to be, but we can see that these puzzlers are absolutely squashing this particular vegetable puzzle. In the upper left hand, we can see Miriam. In the upper middle, Mona. Sorry. In the upper right, Mooney is doing the big sort. In the lower left, Moras. In the lower middle, Nadine, and in the lower right, Natasha. Everybody is really making progress here. You can see that Miriam in the upper left is starting to work on the assembly. I think she's done a little bit of a sort, and it might be, I think there's some orange in there, might be doing the onion early, and I hope that doesn't make people cry as they start to cut into it little by little. The outer shell of it does have this weird case of a little bit of a gradient across it, but if you really zoom in on what is the brightest part, what is the darkest part, you can make progress inside of it.
I also like the sort that Mooney is doing over there. So there you can see like a very, very detailed sort on Mooney's table.
Absolutely, and I know that as we're crossing we're getting ready to cross the 10-minute line here. A lot of our puzzlers are really going to start making progress on whatever their first couple of targets is. I expect that we'll start to see a lot of frames coming into the picture here. If that's the initial target people are comfortable with a puzzle like this, that's kind of I think of it as a pseudo collage, because there are a lot of elements that are really broken up and you can place those early. You may not necessarily need to do the frame early on.
No, you don't need to at all. You can really go segment by segment on this one.
Oh wow! We can see in the upper left, I think that's Nam, is getting the words, getting those words built very quickly. We can see is getting high marks with a high grade there. Nina in the upper middle almost has that frame fully complete here as we cross the 11-minute line. Paulina in the upper right is getting started on I believe it's on some of that text as well. In the lower left, Pia is getting that tomato built out. That red color really pops out in the pile, so I think that's a good target to work on. The trick becomes what is the way in which you're going to approach it? Are you going to like get the outline of it and then work in towards the middle? We can see Ramon in the lower middle has gotten that onion totally worked out and is now sunbursting off of it into the tomato region. And Rena in the lower right has a mascot watching over those tomato pieces, so that way they don't run away as Rena continues to finish the frame. And also, yeah, huge in the chat, huge shout out to Letizia for getting a super high grade for their secretary training. 5.6 out of 6 is phenomenal. Really well done.
A legal secretary. I was about to read out the same thing. But yeah, people are hammering away at this puzzle. The tomato is taking lovely shape there. Also with Nina's table, I can see that the edge is done and also the pieces of the tomato are already sitting in there in the middle. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see who's going to be the fastest today.
It really is anybody's game. I think a lot of this is going to come down to confidence in what your targets are and how you're approaching this. A lot of times puzzlers spend a decent amount of their processing time going, is this the right thing? Is this the right thing? And that uncertainty eats more into the time than just going, this is the target I'm going to work on right now, making a little bit of progress and then switching if they have to.
It can be very, very difficult to if you get stuck in something that you feel is challenging, and then a lot of people can also be like very stubborn and be like, I'm going to do this, there's no way I can't, and then they get stuck on the one element and they don't move on, which can sometimes be kind of a trap for some of the puzzlers. But if you can recognize that you're doing that, you can also just switch over to something else, and that's also going to be very, very helpful. And it can also help with that flow state that can sometimes really, really escalate or accelerate your puzzling.
Speaking of moving on, we have some new competitors on the screen. In the upper left, we have Richard Fletcher doing a great job getting that frame built out. In the upper middle, Rika has that frame and several of the pieces in the middle. I think that might be some of that blue background gradient that'll work out pretty well. In the upper right, Romina has that onion built a little bit, and some of those tomatoes, and I think the lower a lower corner of text as well. It looks like there's a big separation between things that are green and things that are not green on that black table, which is really interesting. In the lower left, we can see Ruth is working on that frame. It looks like there's regions of that upper corner. I think it's that dark blue with the 1900 background that is placed along with some of the text on the bottom. And so she hasn't made the full frame yet, but she's getting these little clusters, these small targets worked out. Sabina in the lower middle is it looks like made progress on the frame, but hasn't fully set it up, and then switched into getting that pumpkin together. You can see that she got the outline of it, and then the internal slice that is that orange, but a slightly different color, which is a really good way to try to approach that. And then she's moving on into, I think it's a little bit of tomato work. And then Sana in the lower right, finishing up the rest of that border. You can see that a lot of our competitors are also getting text along with the border, which is a really slick way to keep sunbursting off of things that you're working on and making progress as you go.
And I also want to read out what Richard has shared as something that he's proud of, because I find that really, really amazing as well, which is making the decision to leave a job and a career that I enjoyed to reinvent myself from scratch with no guarantee of success or of work at the end of the training. Thankfully, the gamble paid off.
That's really lovely and wildly brave to do that. Like, congratulations for that.
And also there's some other achievements that have been shared in the chat. One is winning a dancing award for the best dancer with 10 years old, I guess.
That's huge.
Which is also huge. And then Kinsey Puzzles got to travel to all 50 states before turning 30.
Hey, congrats, Kinsey.
I have seen that like being a thing only recently, that like a lot of people are now doing the all 50 states thing. Yep. Is that turning into like some kind of new trend for people, or is it just something that like gets more attention now?
Well, it's been a thing for a long while, but I think some of the routes have become easier, just in terms of infrastructure, making it a little bit more straightforward, which is kind of interesting. But also, people just want to get out and see everything that's available in the States, which is kind of cool. We can see in the upper left-hand corner, Sergio making progress on that text, really using that background gradient to his advantage in order to get chunks of that 1900 together. Sylvia is cruising through the rest of that frame very rapidly in the upper middle. In the upper right, Sina has made an approach to start the frame and then work on the text that's attached to it. Really, really slick move. Silka in the lower left has a huge amount of text already built out. You can see that it's not, she hasn't made the frame to place at all, but she's making those clusters, those little islands of pieces that can then grow into each other. In the lower middle,
Teilchenbeschleuniger.
I didn't want to butcher that too terribly. But they're doing a really slick job here. You can see that they sorted out that onion and are combining the tomato in there as well. And then to Pat in the lower right now, really cruising through the rest of that frame.
I also see another achievement from Vicky, who is really proud of winning a Rubik's Cube competition with 25 seconds, which is insane.
Wow. I can't even get a Rubik's Cube out of the box that quickly.
Me neither. I have heard that there's like techniques that you can learn to actually do a Rubik's Cube. I could never be bothered, to be honest, but I have mad respect for anyone who can do that.
On screen now, we can see Tulia in the upper left, followed by Ulrika, Vanessa in the upper right. In the lower left, we have Vesna. In the lower middle, Wendy. And in the lower right, I think that's Zamora.
Yes, that is Zamora. And I also have to read out what Tulia wrote, because that is insanely cool, which is she has won a women's class in a local rally a few weeks ago. And in the whole competition, she was 45th, 54th, 56th, who drove to the finish line, and 77 cars were competing.
Wow.
Car rally.
That is, I've seen clips of those rally drivers, and it is intense what they're able to do. I think it was one of the early inspirations for pod racing. It's phenomenal, and the reflexes involved and being able to stay calm while that thing is bumping along is really, really difficult. And that's also, I hope a lot of that translates into puzzling, because being able to maintain calm while trying to move very quickly and make rapid decisions is super difficult.
It's incredible, and it's also really fun how you can draw parallels with a rally competition and speed puzzling. Everything can relate to speed puzzling in this sense.
Oh yeah, you can see. I think that's Ulrika has that full. I think has the full pumpkin built out there.
It seems like the entire bunch of vegetables in the middle, apart from the greens. There was the tomato. There's the onion. There's also the radishes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a husk of corn or a cucumber. I think it might be a cucumber.
I called it a zucchini.
Okay.
While I was thinking about it, it could be anything. I'm not sure if you can see my screen, but yeah, it could be anything. I don't think it's corn. If it was corn, then you would see the corn seeds, I guess.
Look at how rapidly Tulia is getting through that text, though. She had it separated into what is a long what is that black descriptive wording, and then very quickly sunbursted off of where those sit, and then also use the background on the opposite side in order to make sure that she can make progress there. It wasn't just the case of I'm going to sit and do all of that black text. She bounced back and forth between those two things.
Yeah, it's doing incredible there. And we have gotten back to the beginning of the alphabet. So we started from the middle today, so we're not through with everyone yet, but we do have new people on screen, and that is Adriana on the top left, as far as I can see, from Colombia, then Aina in the middle top, then Aino on the top right with a full edge over there, and also the top right text is already done, and as far as I can see, also the bottom text. So yeah, we're seeing that Aino is going with the text first and no vegetables yet. Then we're moving on to Amy, as far as I can see the name. And then bottom middle, that is Anna Maria. And then Angelica in the bottom right.
And this is where we're really starting to see all of the different high-level strategies starting to become really visible as we come up on the 22-minute mark here. Several of the puzzlers that are doing that frame first have a little bit of a early game advantage of being able to sunburst off of that frame and work into that text a little bit. Whereas the puzzlers that start more towards the middle, they may have a little bit of a slower start off, but that text area will run a little bit quicker for them once they get to it. So it's going to be a game of whose positioning is going to help them get that shape work done as they get in towards the late game.
Definitely. And which way would you go here? Well, would you be a veggies first, or would you be a text first?
I think I would bounce, but I would bounce between the bunch. I think I might start off with the like high grade text in the lower left, because usually whenever you're thinking about what are good early targets, you want to think about things that are unique, maybe about 8 to 12 pieces and easy to see in the pile. Once you start getting much larger than that, you have to do secondary sorts and pull back from there. So I might do a couple of layers of text, and then I might switch to a little bit of the inside on the vegetables. But as soon as you hit that point of having to work a little too hard to make progress, that's probably when you need to move on to a more straightforward section for a little bit. But that's also just my strategy. I know that I've talked to other puzzlers where they want to start off with the hardest section for the longest, so that way they've used up the highest amount of energy for the hardest things, and then they can kind of coast later in the competition as their stamina starts wearing down.
Yeah, I can very much agree with that, even though like I don't like starting with the hard things because I feel like I'm not progressing anywhere, and that usually makes me nervous. But those people who have nerves of steel can usually do that much better. And in the meantime, we have had some new people on screen as far as I can see. We've got top left Anya, then Anna in top middle, already with a majority assembled edge and also mostly text done. Then we have Anne, also with the majority of pretty much the entire frame done and also text. Then we have Asma, bottom left, also using a board for, I think those are probably the edge pieces as far as I can see, but there's also like a pretty thorough sort going on there. Then we have Birgit on the bottom middle, and I can't help but notice the huge trefoil puzzles behind her, the large piece count trefoil ones. But she's also making use of a couple of puzzle boards, and she seems to have the vegetables done already, so that is looking really good. And then we've got Annika on the bottom right, who is kind of doing a little bit of pick and placing as far as I can see, because you already have like the skeleton of the frame, and some things are already placed into the puzzle and is building like kind of starbursting between them as well. So there's a little bit of action going on in the middle of the puzzle.
Yeah, you can see that Annika's trying to make progress on those beats, and because that's a duplicated section of a lot of color, and it's not, the bright spots are multiplied throughout, that can be a little difficult to make progress on, but she's doing a really good job there.
And I also want to highlight Asma's achievement that she has highlighted, because she has managed to hit an 80-kilogram deadlift for reps. Coming from a lifetime of being sedentary, I started strength training in 2022, 4 years after a bad back injury. So I'm proud of the fact that I am now A, pain-free, and B, strong and capable.
Remind me not to make her angry.
I'm just saying, I'm thankfully not 80 kilograms, so that's more than my body weight. And I have met Asma; she's smaller than me, so
that is amazing.
So that's also an incredible achievement. And we already have new people on screen. Jim, can you see them? Because my
in the
not helping me.
Left, we have Britta. In the upper middle, we have Corrine. In the upper right, I believe that's Carla. In the lower left, it's Carla S. And in the lower middle, Catherine Luneski. And in the lower right, it's Katrine. And we're seeing all of these different tactics take place. I think some of the puzzlers that may have done a big sort early that pulled a lot of that were a little indiscriminate in pulling blue, they may have gotten some of that blue background seed text along with that fainter blue background that's near the top, and they may be having a little bit of trouble distinguishing which of those pieces belong in which case. And that's sort of what I was mentioning earlier about being very specific up front on the sort rather than on the back half. But you can see that Carla S in the lower left has done a really good job getting that seed packet text together, and has also made a really good progress on getting those other clusters worked out. Catherine L in the lower middle has almost that full frame worked out. You can see that she made progress in that 1900 text that's in the upper right, but didn't connect it to the frame and just moved on to the next project. That's really, really important, because you can get more information later on, and you don't have to fight against the current of the puzzle quite as much, and brute force those connections whenever there's lower hanging fruit, or in this case lower hanging vegetables to work on. But Catherine L and Katrine in the lower right are kind of even in terms of total vegetable build there. It looks like Katrine has a lot of that pumpkin squared away, and is now finishing up on that onion, and I think is digging into some of that table brown background as well.
I also want to draw your attention to the comments where Michelle has made a great pun, which is Ozma is doing the heavy lifting on this puzzle.
Wait, don't tell me. Sorry.
Yes, very good, very good. I love that. Yeah, it's incredible work from everyone. Catherine has also highlighted her Irish dancing journey. I know that you have talked a little bit about that, I think last weekend. I can't exactly remember, but I remember her talking about Irish dancing, and that's also so seriously cool.
That is really impressive. You can see on screen now in the upper left, Christine has a huge chunk of the text at the top and the bottom. I think it was just an early target to get those words out of the way. In the upper middle, I think that's Cian, has the frame and the seed packet text worked out. In the upper right, Kiara. In the lower left, Claire. In the lower middle, Christina. And in the lower right, Dagmara. And I think a lot of puzzlers gravitate towards that seed wording because that deep blue is really clear. Unlike some of the other text that's in this puzzle, the lettering on the seeds word is much bigger than any individual piece. So you have to work a little bit harder to figure out which letter is which whenever you pick up one of those pieces. And I think that's where we might see a little bit of slowdown. So some of the puzzlers that target that early might look like they're a little bit behind from the rest of the field, but they're going to catch up on some of those other sections once they move on. Whereas the other puzzlers that picked up some of the more straightforward zones are then going to hit that wall whenever they get to the packet.
I can also share that seeds text is what I did as very, very last. I left it until the very end. Exactly, because it's very different from all the text, as in like the letters are way larger. So with that one, it's harder to see which letter is which on the piece. So for me, at least, it was easier to first do the frame of that sign, because that has a lot of other information on it of where it is, and then literally just fill in the gaps afterwards. But I left it to the very end exactly because of that.
Yeah, we often call that boxing it in, where you sort of make the outline of the area that you want to work on assembly-wise, and then work in towards it, which is sort of the inverse of sunbursting out from it.
Also, important information, Danielle, your camera is off, so please take a look if you can hear us.
In the upper middle, we can see Desiree dual wielding different sorting trays. I think that's Dimar in the upper right. In the lower left, Dora, and in the lower middle, Dorothea, and in the lower right, Elizabeth. I see several table mascots rooting all of these puzzlers on as we cross the 32-minute line in this 50+ competition, I think I don't want to jinx it yet. I don't want to jinx it. We might be able to clear the room. We
You
might be
always
able to
say
do
that,
it.
Jim.
I always say it because I do believe that it's truly possible. And this is definitely the kind of puzzle where if you really think about the subgroups of each of the targets that you're working on, you can make rapid progress and surprise yourself even. But these puzzlers are doing a great job here as we cross the 32-minute line.
I agree with you in the sense that this is it. It is not an easy puzzle, but it's also a doable puzzle. And the more you have done of it, the easier it gets. Especially because you eliminate it really section by section. So you, as you were saying earlier, you box in the hard parts, which already halfway, not halfway, but a quarter way solves it because you have a frame to work from. So it makes the difficult parts easier as well if you have everything done around them. So the more you have done of this puzzle, the better it will get. And I also very much think that this is one of those puzzles that can clear the room.
It's gonna happen.
It could happen.
It's going to happen. I believe. I think we're going to have these seeds grow into full success here. In the upper left, we can see Elka. Upper middle, Emanuela. Upper right, Emma. In the lower left, Evalie. In the lower middle, Freya. And in the lower right, Finn. Everybody making good progress here. You can see Emma using that. I believe it's a sewing. A sewer's mat or like a craft mat that has scaling for various sizes built into it.
And we've got a cat.
And has a cat. We have a cat sighting.
Also, those mats are amazing. Like, I really love the texture of them. I never use it for puzzling. I also have one. Well, not exactly me, but I borrow one from time to time. And the texture of it is very, very nice. But I use it mostly for crafting and not puzzling, to be honest. But those are really, really good. If they manufactured it without the pattern on it, it would be great.
Yeah.
Also, Honorus is saying that this was the first sub 40 that she got in a competition. I assume that she was doing this as a flex. I think I might have seen it on Instagram as well. So the first sub 40 in a competition. So let's go. Great.
Going sub 40 is a flex, whether you do it on the flex or not. That's wildly impressive. You can see
and we've got.
Oh, go ahead.
And we've got new people on screen, including Gabi on the top left. Then we have Gavin, top middle. Then we have Georgia with a very nice assembly of the pumpkin. And as far as I can see, most of the text as well. Then we have Hannah, also with a very thorough sort over there. Like the colors show really, really nicely on that white table. And then we have another Hannah K, with many sections of the puzzle assembled, but like scattered all over the table. So it looks a little bit like a dissected puzzle already, as in like it's in smaller pieces all over the table. And then we have Hannah S with pretty much like a lot of green left and the background, but the rest seems to be kind of done.
Yeah, it does look like we have a bit of a battle of the Hannahs going on here. For those of you who have watched the EJJ a couple of times, you might recognize in the lower left Hannah Bevis, who has commentated a couple of times now and is doing a fabulous job here. You can see that that sort looks really solid in terms of being able to distinguish those reds. And I'm impressed that she's able to that Hannah's able to get those greens worked out. You can see that Hannah started with the darkest part of that zucchini cucumber and then switched over to the lighter part and is bouncing from the onion and is now moving into tomato territory little by little. All of that text is already worked out by Hannah Bevins as well. Ooh.
I can see a comment from Karen. I'm not sure if Michelle can see it, so I'm going to read it out. She says, registered with the timer, but having technical issues with the camera, so I'm just going to puzzle offline and watch the live stream. Sorry, Michelle, just so you know.
thing, random things happen, unfortunately. So sorry you're dealing with that. But we do have some cheers in the chat for Georgia, who's doing a fabulous job here.
And also, we've got some new people on screen, including Idun on the top left, with a good amount of those veggies done and the text all over. So some of the elements that we have seen appear on most of the tables. Then we've got, I have to enlarge the screen, Ilona on the top left, no, top middle. Then Yonna on top right, also done with the text and a big part of that pumpkin and spreading into the radishes and the tomatoes, so tackling the red parts right now. Then we have Isabella working on, as far as I can see, also the vegetables, probably. I think that might be the onion. But yeah, tackling the vegetables in the middle. Then we have Janne on the lower middle, already done with the seeds text and pretty much the entire bottom section. And it also looks like she's working on separate parts of the puzzle, like completely taken apart, and it's not assembled yet. So you can see the bottom on the right, but she's working on the pretty much finished vegetables on the left side. So she's going to assemble the complete puzzle a little bit later on. Then we have Jessica Henderson on the top, on the lower right, with pretty much done the entire frame. So not just the edge, but everything else, so the text, and has just the vegetables left. So that is looking really, really good there.
Yeah, Jessica's doing a fabulous job. One of the new board members on the USA JPA, and really showing some puzzling strength here. I think Jess was one of those folks that did a lot of that blue background early in that text, and now is being really targeted on picking up those reds in order to make progress on the tomato.
Definitely. And we might have to watch out for her because she's doing incredible there. But we're also seeing pretty much the same progress as with Jessica. Joanna from Poland is also doing exactly the same. So they're pretty much neck to neck at this point. Also done with the entire background and the text. Basically just a couple of pieces left. And now all that is left is the vegetables. Then we're moving on to Jody, who is done with the vegetables and is now tackling one of the text areas. Then we have Violina from, I'm sorry, I cannot see the country right now. I have to take a look at the list. But she is on the top right and pretty much done with the vegetables, just connected it to the frame and the rest of the text. Then we have Judith with a finished top text, and I think the bottom as well, and the vegetables also looking great. Then we have Karina in the lower middle, who is also pretty much done with the entire frame. And then we've got a big chunk of the vegetables as well, but she doesn't have the seeds text yet. So very, very similar progress to Joanna and Jessica at this point, I think. And then we have Katrin, who is also doing the same technique here, pretty much done with everything that is text and is nearing into the middle.
We could see some cheers for folks in the chat. I think that's KM Wozniak, that might be Kinsey, saying Jessica's going to beat me again today. And cheers for Joanna from Kinga. This does seem like a Vafelic situation of trying to sandwich in these little layers, little by little. But I really like Katrina's setup here. I want to point out in the lower middle there, Katrina isn't loading up her hand with a bunch of pieces and then dealing them out one by one. Whenever you have a big group that you want to untangle, it makes life easier to be able to see more of the pieces early on. So she tends to drop those pieces off and then make progress on it, which is really slick.
Yeah, it's looking great. It seems like the pieces are just closer, so it's not as much hand movement and as you would like normally do, going back and forth between your pile and your puzzle.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 41-minute and 45-second line. Sorry, we're coming up on 41 minutes and 20 seconds on this particular competition, and people are doing a really swell job so far.
And we've also got Katrin on the top left, Yeah, closing in for pretty much the last couple of sections, including the seeds text and the lettuce and everything that is green. Then we've got Kenneth in the middle, on in the top middle. There, pretty much the texts are all done, and I can see that pumpkin also taking shape very nicely. Then we've got Kira with most of the text done, and also I can see parts of that tomato already done, and the pumpkin is getting finished, so doing amazing there as well. Then we have Larissa. I'm having a hard time seeing that on my phone here because it's a little bit small, but as far as I can see, the seeds text is already done, and the pile of vegetables, so doing amazing there as well. Then Laura also working on that frame and background. And we have, I think, Laura, as far as I can see, vegetables are pretty much done and the texts are in progress. So looking great.
We can see in the upper left, Katrine is very, very close to finishing this out. I think Katrine's down to maybe about the last 50 to 70 to 50 to 100 pieces or so. A little difficult to estimate those greens, but you can see that she's now transitioning into doing a cleanup of those dark blues. She's moved on to doing that seed packet text. And just like you were saying earlier, Fuji, trying to get the outline of that as much as possible. I think there's a little bit of a not a true gradient, but on one side of that seed packet, there's a darker blue and then a lighter blue on the opposite side. So being able to catch that helps quite a bit. And I think she's also really seeing on that letter D part of that white outline that's a little more rounded and large without the extra squiggle. So it's one way to distinguish, oh, if it's not an S or an E, then it must be the D over on that side. I think that's a really cool tool for puzzlers to have in the back of their mind, is it's not always just a positive confirmation of what you're looking for, but it's also if it's not the other things, then it must be this, that inductive reasoning.
Also, I think with these greens, if people have those for last, the shapes help you a lot as well. Some of the most characteristic pieces that you have in like the EJJ piece cut with some of those really big knobs on the pieces, like those are in the greens, so you can use that shape very well as well.
Oh wow, we can see on screen now Katrine and Ann L in the upper middle, Marilyn in the upper right, cruising along to Pat in the lower left, Makhabi in the lower middle, and Karina H in the lower right. This is going to be a really tight finish for all of these competitors. I think Makhababi, I apologize for getting tongue-tied there.
Muggy.
Okay. They're doing a fabulous job. Only really has that section of the lettuce and the top little parts of the beets that are remaining. We can see that Katrine is now trying to move on to getting those peas and the zucchinis in. I think Makababi is ahead here, and L is just a little bit ahead of Katrine at this particular stage, has some reds to clean up here, but this is looking really, really tight.
Jim, I'm going to help you. Muggy Hubby is actually Margit.
Oh, okay, Margit. Thank you. Oh, and look at Montas in the lower right. Also has almost that entire bottom of the puzzle worked out, and a lot of that pea and zucchini area. So if they can switch back and get that background blue worked down towards where that lettuce is, they can then switch into shape work and really accelerate the finish here.
We can definitely see some of the competitors who are closest to finishing in this 50+ competition. So just keep pushing. You're almost done. Especially Katrin is doing incredible. Anne is also doing amazing. They seem to be pretty much neck to neck at this point. They are also working on pretty much the same sections. So this is quite exciting to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get zoom in view of so many puzzlers right now. The level of competition that the 50 plus has been putting up lately is really phenomenal, and it's just so cool to know that that all of this progress is going to start trickling into the sub 50 groups little by little here. We are coming up on the 46-minute and 40-second line here, and we can see that Katrine has now only just those groups of lettuce. She's trying to finish up those that P region, which should pop out a little bit because of that background color of the bright P center with that darker background. We can see Montas is doing a really slick job, has now transitioned into trying to finish up the rest of that border. And L is now being really methodical. You can see that she switched into doing whole first kind of puzzling. So she had all those pieces by the beat and went to, okay, I'm going to focus just on this area.
And the left side is done. The left side is finished. Now it's just the lettuce there.
Exactly, and that's a huge move right there. And I just realized that on Annelle's table, she hasn't finished the border on that side because you can see those on the sorting tray over there. That's a really slick move because it means that she already has. She'll just be able to brute force that border whenever she gets to it.
It's also really, really slick, but also it's very tight because with Katrin doesn't have the edges left. She only has like the lettuce. So all that she has to figure out is the lettuce now, while Anne needs to figure out the lettuce and those couple of pieces of edge.
But look at what Katrin's having to do. She has all the pieces of the lettuce over on the left-hand side and is traveling all the way over, which isn't always a huge deal. She also has that P region, that P and zucchini region.
That is
So
true.
it was more split than it looked like. That wood background causing a little bit of disguise for us. And this is where these puzzlers have been going for 48 and a half minutes now. So it's real easy for that I'm so close to the end adrenaline to get into your hands and start causing some misfires. You can see Katrine.
And while we're talking, Margaret is almost done with the greens. She also has maybe about 15 pieces left, maybe even less, and that's pretty much just the lettuce. So that's between Katrin and Margaret at this point.
Oh yeah, I think Margaret has the advantage here. You can see that she's using both of her hands and is really pointing out where those gaps are. Katrine's accelerating here. You can see that those hands trying to move just a little bit faster. Margaret being very, very methodical and precise, but may not have the speed right here at the end. Who is going to grab this 50 plus first place finish? I think Margaret is down to the last three pieces. Katrine has about 5. Who's going to be able to get those in? Margaret is down to one last piece. Katrine gets those last 2 in. Who's going to be able to hit the buzzer? Margaret is fighting for those
Who's going
last
to be first?
Might be able to scoop this out from underneath. She gets that last win and is fighting to get it in. Katrine hits the buzzer. I think she got the first place here, just slightly ahead of Margaret. There it is. Margaret gets those last ones in. You can see that
there she is.
There were a few extra pieces sitting on top of the puzzle that we couldn't see that were on top of that zucchini. So it was a little bit more space, but that was a fabulous finish. And Annelle is now down to just the border here. You can see she finished up that lettuce and is now going into that brute force sort of methodology. You can see she picks up a piece and then checks all of those spots very quickly. And that's what we call the brute force method. Where you're not really trying to plan out every stage. You're just going, okay, this has to be somewhere through here. Let me finish this up. This is a fantastic finish from so many of our puzzlers. They're going to town. Come on, Anne.
Incredible job.
Very, very well done.
So we have our top 3. The first 2 places were sub 50. I don't know which how many sub 50 finishes they have so far, but they now they are definitely now one step closer to graduating out of the 50 plus club.
Congratulations.
And then Anne L was just 14 seconds over 50. So it was super close.
That's such a tight race. And the thing is, this is going to continue on because the top 10 is still available. We'd see Montas doing a great job. It looks like Marilyn is down to just that seed packet text. So being able to get the outline of it and then work in towards the middle is really, really strong here at this stage. And Ruth is doing a wonderful job. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, Ruth is down to just that text that's either at the top or at the bottom, sort of bouncing between those two ends.
Also, puzzle with feet. The exciting commentary certainly makes doing the dishes more exciting.
Well, you know, as these puzzlers clean up the end of their puzzle, I'm glad that you are cleaning up the rest of your dishes. You see Ruth is now down to just the border pieces. She is using that similar tactic that we saw Katrine use earlier, or sorry, one of the other competitors used, of separating out those borders and then bringing them in, and is now just only on that right-hand side. I always love that move whenever puzzlers can come back a little bit later. And Marilyn is down to the last piece, hits the timer. Congratulations, Marilyn.
Congratulations. Incredible. We have 4 finishers so far. And from here on, I think the wave of finishers is also coming in. So we better watch.
Yeah, this is where life becomes very difficult for the crew at Speed Puzzle EU, because they are having to look at over 100 different screens at the same time to try to keep track of everybody. So we may not see all of the finishes on screen, but we are going to try. We can see Madeline in the lower middle making huge progress, is now down to just that lettuce. I can also see that Jessica Henderson is down to maybe about the last 25 pieces or so, maybe 30 of that lettuce. Montas is making tremendous progress here, has a lot of that green pea pod, and is made a huge chunk into that lettuce zone. I think it's really important for puzzlers to keep using their tactics and techniques even this late in the game. It's so easy to see that end in sight and try to skip your normal process and go, just get it in, right? But that's what slows you down and causes those late game jitters. Maintaining control is huge at this stage. We can see that Karina H in the upper middle, finishing up that lettuce. Madeline in the upper right, neck and neck. I think there's a bunch of pieces that are on the puzzle itself. That's okay at this stage because you can distinguish between the foreground and the background. But I think Karina is going to be able to close this out, and Montas not too far behind.
Incredible puzzling, everyone. And we have yet another finisher. We've got our top 6 so far. Karina H is also done with 53.28. So we have at the top 6. There's still 4 spots in the top 10. So just keep going, people. There's a lot of screens where I can see just barely a couple of pieces left. And also more and more people use boards as far as I can see now. So there's a lot of those boards flying around with pieces on top of them. And they can sometimes be a very useful tool. I will never miss an opportunity to advocate for puzzle boards, because they can sometimes be very, very useful.
I always think of puzzle boards as being useful whenever it's with a purpose, right? If you have a puzzle board as a reflex, and it's just hey, I'm going to set it over here and move it on, move it off, move it on, move it off, it's less effective because it's just additional space. But if you're really thinking, okay, I'm going to save space, or this is setting me up for success a little bit later, that's huge. And I do want to shout out, we did see Ziona finish up just a few moments ago as well. Congratulations.
We just in this one, oh wow, in 1 minute we had 4 finishers, 5. We are at top 11 now. So our top 10 is after Karina on place 6, we have Montas place 7, Madeline on place 8, Shomara on place 9, and Nina top on the 10th spot. And it just keeps rolling in. So there's the place 6, 7, and 8 only had 23 seconds between them.
That is absolutely wild.
And we have another 3 finishers. So yes, we're going to try and catch as many people as possible, but a big shout out to the EJJ elves who are helping out now and trying to doing their best to catch as many people as possible. But with this amount of competitors, it can be very, very hard. So a huge shout out to our helpers.
Oh wow. And you can see how many of these puzzlers are really fighting to keep it under an hour. I know that a lot of the 50+ club are, their goal sort of keeps dropping from, hey, I just want to get it down under an hour 15. I want to get it down under an hour. There are now about there are about 4 minutes remaining, and a lot of these puzzlers are going to be able to keep it in under that deadline. We'd see that Carla is about ready to finish and is into that lettuce section. I think that a lot of puzzlers, whenever they get there, there's this initial panic of how to approach it. And that's often where I recommend take a few seconds to look at the image and really break down where things are. And if there's color or texture that you can notice, use that as anchor points in order to then make progress. And congratulations to Jessica Henderson for finishing strong there. And Iona, not too far behind. Very, very well done on a closeout. Catherine L, I think there's a piece down, is diving under the table in order to get that border piece, or was just trying to hunt it down. Congratulations, Catherine. And Freya finished strong as well. I wasn't able to say it a few moments ago. Freya had a lot of that green to finish up and then just blasted through it on the late game. That was such good shape work by Freya closing out her puzzle.
Jessica says in the chat, thanks, Jim. I love words. So
Words
this was definitely her puzzle.
Words are the best.
Words are the best. And the finishes just keep rolling in. There's so many people coming in still before the hour mark, and we still have 2.5 minutes to go before 1 hour. So there's still a lot of spots, and we're at place 22 right now. So there's so many people so very close to finishing. It's going to be incredible. And you're doing so very well. And I know that the 1 hour mark, like Jim, you were saying, that there's always a new goal in speed puzzling. And that 1 hour mark is, I think, one of those very, very big milestones for anyone that gets into speed puzzling. I think that to get a puzzle done in an hour is usually your first really big milestone after let's finish the puzzle in the given time.
Yeah, it's sort of like the sound barrier where you think you can't do it for so long and then suddenly you do. And Tulia finishes in under the deadline, getting that seed packet text all the way worked out. We are currently sitting at the 58 minute and 36 second line, so about 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in order to get under that hour line. There are so many puzzlers that are really close to this. Mooney might be able to pull it out. I think there might be just one too many pieces, but it will be just over. Jane and Pia are closing out that lettuce region. I think Jane has a really good shot here. There's maybe about 15 pieces remaining or so. Is she going to be able to do this? I think it's going to happen. We have a really good shot at clearing the room. So no matter what your net goal is, take a deep breath and then push through. Rely on your process in order to really make progress at this stage.
And Desiree is also done on place 24 with 58.23. So there's still about a half a minute left for people to finish in under an hour. So just keep going.
We'd see Ann K in the lower middle there working on that seed text, using a similar tactic that we saw earlier of being able to distinguish that letter D inside of the wording and then branching out from there, getting that outline, really taking advantage of the shape work. Oh, and we saw Jane and Pia both finish in under the hour. Congratulations.
Incredible. They are
well
literally done in the same second. So we have 59:30.1 for Jane or Janne, and we have 59:30.9 for Pia. That's not even a second difference. Incredible, everyone. You're doing so very well. Also, I think Michelle was asking in the chat, but I'm also going to say it out loud. If anyone wants to join us for an interview, let us know and you can hop in.
Yeah, we would love the chance to chat with a couple of folks. I know that a lot of people might need to run off to their next adventure. And I think our top 3 all had to boogie onto elsewhere. So if you're around, shoot us a line in the Google Meet chat, and we'll bring you in.
Margit is here. Then come turn on your microphone and speak to us. I only saw your screen disappear, so I thought that you left as well. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
How are you?
Tired. It was a long day. I have to work and I start early in the morning. And so I hurried to come home and to be in time, just in time for the competition. And
And how
so
and how did you find the puzzle? How was it?
I love this vintage pictures, and so it's very, very beautiful. Also, I'm working with seeds sometimes, and so it's perfect for me.
What was your favorite part? Are you someone who likes doing letters, or were you rather for the vegetables?
I like doing these words, but I know it's too much to be fast with it. So I tried to figure out the small parts of red or yellow and or the pumpkin to try it first. But then I switched to the words, the red one, the on the left side, blue and red down, or the upper words. So it's hard for me to stay with one part and finish it. So I always switch to another part.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. Like jumping around between elements of the picture.
Yes, you see so many beautiful or some parts which jumping in the eye, and you try to finish them.
Oh yes, yeah. I completely get that. How many times have you finished the puzzle in under an hour? In under 50 minutes? Because now you had a 49. Oh, let me look at it again. 49:35. So yes.
I think it's the fifth one. I'm not sure.
Ooh, then it's close.
Yes. I'm close to kicking me out of the 50 plus.
Kicking out or graduating. It's a different way to look at it.
Yes.
You'll be graduating to a whole new world of acceleration, which is really cool. I know that I've seen your times just like keep dropping. How does it feel to be making progress like this over so long?
I tried several. Sometimes I try the same puzzle 3, 4, 5 times to trying to get faster. My problem is the flipping. I need too much time for it. And as long as I don't be under 4 minutes for flipping, it's hard to finish the puzzle in a short time.
Yeah, the flip and initial target pull is one of those parts of speed puzzling that most puzzlers don't enjoy.
Yes.
And it's
I
like, okay,
agree.
why would I practice this? Why, I gotta get in. But it's also where you can shave off, 30 seconds, a minute plus sometimes, just by really digging in on it. It's really cool that what your time marker is for, hey, this is a really good flip time for me. Does that include like pulling a whole border, or is it just getting the pieces flipped and then going from there?
I'm trying to sort out the border. I'm usually trying first the border, but I've learned that it's sometimes better to start with very colorful parts like the tomato or the some words which are showing up so clearly. And it was hard work to learn this.
What made I know there's a lot of puzzlers on a similar journey right now and trying to get used for that. What made that particularly difficult?
This, I think the background isn't that easy. As long as you have so many words to place. If the after that was finished, there were haven't been so much spaces to fill in, so it was okay. And the green parts like the salad and what is it, peas, well, they are not that easy as I thought.
No, that makes that makes a lot of sense. I think you were saying that you do some gardening or like vegetables. Is that it?
I'm working in a kind of how do you will call it? We are selling at work grains, seeds, for and many things for animals.
Ah,
And,
like feeds.
yes, we are making food for animals on the
Ah.
place, and we also sell seeds for the farmers and everything else they need for their job. And
Oh,
so
that's
seeds
so cool.
are. Yes?
So you probably could look at any one of those pieces and go, ah, that's a piece of lettuce. Ah, it's zucchini. Is that kind of what was going through your head as you were working on it?
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah. Just did that aspect of your work help you in any way distinguish what some of the pieces were a little more easily?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not anyway. We don't have such nice motives at our company, so it's
Aw.
much more modern than this. But I like this puzzle.
And
I
I
do-
have something else to ask, which is like not related to this puzzle, but it is related to puzzling. Now that it's summer, have you been puzzling more or less?
Less. I'm trying to start the training for the Euro Jigsaw competition, but July is always a very busy month in our house and our company, so I haven't much time this month. I tried or started this week with 2 more puzzles, and I'm hoping after next week it will be more time for this.
And what kind of puzzles are you doing? Are you like doing specifically training or something with like larger piece counts or anything else, like speed puzzle or leisure puzzle or more?
Mostly 500 Ravensburger. Sometimes we are we're starting advanced calendar in the forum in the German, and so I have several to do myself. And these are always to be done during summer also. And this is I'm not yet ready with all these calendars.
It is unbelievable to me that like it's end of July and you have to think about advent calendars.
Some years ago, I finished it in January or February.
Oh,
It's the best time for it. Nobody thinks about it and would believe that this could be advance calendar.
that is true. That is a point. The surprise element mostly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do want to point out we just crossed the hour and 10-minute line. So for those of you who are aiming to get under an hour 15, you have about 4.5 minutes left. Go, 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 go. I believe in you.
Go, go, go.
Okay. I have to leave.
No worries. We're going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
You too.
You
Congrats. And very, very well done.
Bye.
And we have 60 finishers, exactly 60. And just as an info, we have 107 people registered for the competition. So we have a little over 40 people puzzling still. we might be able to clear the room. We have 45 minutes left, over 45 minutes left.
This is the one. This is where this is where it happens. So I want everybody to take a deep breath. If you're starting to feel jittery, it's okay to. I tell a lot of the people that Mari and I coach, I would rather you take 3 seconds to just get yourself under control, right? To get your body, get your mind straight, and then blitz through, than to have 15 seconds of panic struggle where nothing happens, right? It's an investment in success if you start really feeling adrenalized to just go, wait a second, and then go.
That is so hard to think of sometimes, because especially if you have been puzzling for over an hour and 12 minutes now, you're so deep into it and you're also getting tired. Like after an hour and 10 minutes, that fatigue can really start kicking in. And so you start getting this tunnel vision of just having the thing done. And then that one breath can sometimes be very, like, not uncomfortable, but like inconvenient.
Yeah, well, and you get time dilated, right? Where you're going so quickly that what feels like what feels like like 5 minutes is actually just a few seconds, right? Or that sense of time really evaporates whenever adrenaline gets in your system. And that's really difficult. But on screen, we can see Paulina closing up in that lettuce zone. Jody Morris also coming in on, I think, Jody Morris is working on that lower text and that outer border. Decided not to get all of it squared away, but is now moving on to the bottom. Dagmara is in that seed packet trying to untangle that font and is making it is putting up an affront to font. Getting those last ones in. Elizabeth is down in that lettuce region, closing this out. We just crossed the hour and 13-minute line. I think all these folks on screen now have a shot at keeping this under an hour 15. Cena S in the lower middle there is in that lettuce region, and Laura Richardson doing that brute force of the outer border. You can see that she rotated the puzzle to be in that landscape mode and is now taking one piece, trying it in several different places and syncing it. And as we were talking, Dagmara finished that puzzle in about an hour 13:20. We'll double check the official results here. But Laura Richardson,
1:13:15.
Thank you.
And
Elizabeth,
the final time.
And Paulina closed it out at an hour 13:40. And Laura Richardson, is she going to be able to keep this under the hour 15 line? She has maybe about 5 pieces left. Bless 3. Can she get those last one in? There's only 2 remaining. Sinks that last one in and then goes for the timer under an hour 14. Very, very well done, Laura.
I want to add one achievement that was added a little bit late to the response sheet, but that's also so incredible that I just want to give it a shout out. Jody M is saying that the big achievement that she's proud of is serving over 30 years active duty military service.
That is, I know Jody Morris, and that is a huge accomplishment and just very well done. And what a wonderful person as well. Like, just super excited for you. That's really, really great. And also great job puzzling today. This is not this might have straightforward parts to the puzzle, but it is not an easy puzzle. There's a lot of little traps in here.
It's not an easy puzzle whatsoever. So there have been some incredible times, but don't let that fool you. It's not an easy puzzle. There's all of these textures, all of the letters can be very, very tricky. So it's just the field getting very, very fast, but the puzzle is not easy.
Yeah, and we're up at the hour 15 and 30-second line. So sort of like with marathon runners, where they try to have a lot of early marathon runners, they want to do those like 5-minute intervals and then slowly get it down. The next big time marker is the hour 20 line. So who is going to be the next crew to be able to stay in under that? Oh, and there's Jody Morris in the lower left, finishing up that outer border. Yeah, you can see that Jody put all of those edge pieces onto that sorting tray, and then put it in the middle of the puzzle, so that way she can deliver it to the outside where it needs to go.
Also, I have got info that Marina is done, and she is one of our interviews today. So if you're still here, then you can turn on your microphone, and yeah, you can join us.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how it felt. What did you think of the puzzle?
It was a very beautiful puzzle, and I liked it, but I was not in my normal space puzzling. I had a much smaller table and different lighting, and so it was a bit tricky, but I liked the puzzle.
Yeah, it can sometimes be very distracting to be out of your normal space.
Yeah.
Did you also have a very different table?
Yes, this was like so much smaller than I'm used to. So
Ooh.
I'm in a hotel room, so I had to do the best with the things I had.
Oh no, and famously, hotels are not the best for puzzling.
Yeah.
Did you at least have okay light? Like, is it still daylight around you?
Yeah, it's starting to getting darker. So from the beginning, I have to have like some before the windows, and then I said to my husband, "Oh, now you have to take it away. Now I can't see anything anymore."
And what did you think of the puzzle?
It was very beautiful. Yeah, and I liked. It had different parts. It was the salad that was the most tricky one.
The salad. Oh yes. Well, what was your strategy to like tackle it? How did you get through that part?
Because I tried to do everything else before the salad. It was the last thing. So I started with the letters, and I tried to make it like smaller parts.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did the red, I tried to take out the brightest red, and then the red with the light on. So I tried to make it smaller parts.
Yeah, that is a very good advice. If someone is listening to the chat and still puzzling, that might be something to use later on.
Yeah, I have a very good coach.
What? What are you talking about?
I wonder who it might be.
I had you on a smaller screen, and I was watching you go. We can do a little bit of a debrief later about some.
Tell us a little bit about the coaching experience. How is it being coached by Jim and Mari then?
It's the most fabulous thing. I really like it. I really enjoy it, and I have learned so much from them. They are so kind, and they are like, they very take like, you think when you're just puzzling, but you can do like turn it to so many parts on the puzzling. So
do you think you can share the best advice that you have received so far?
Yeah, it's so many advice that is the best, but I think it's the best to be accuracy, to do, instead of just trying to speed all the time. Like, I'm a very stressful person. It's more better to just look at what do I have and take them together. So under this puzzle, I also, when I was starting, like just trying everything, I was like, okay, hands up what I'm doing. And then it went better.
Oh, you did the hands up a couple of times?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, what's the hands up?
So you're not stressful and putting pieces, like trying them, like, and you do like more and more and more, and everything gets chaos.
Ah, okay.
So better like breathe.
Is it also like something to avoid the cat pawing the pieces? That's one thing that I do, for example.
Yeah.
It's to try to make a physical response that you can feel, rather than your brain trying to tell your body to do a thing and your body not listening, or like kind of like coasting through to try to feel better. If you literally just like really put that pressure in your hands and go, nope, that can trigger the response to make sure that you get a little bit tighter control.
while there's a little pause, I also want to announce that we are over 82 finishers at this point. So we have a little over 25 people just puzzling.
Whoa!
Whoa, right?
Whoa!
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
Incredible. So everyone is doing amazing, and there's not so much left for anybody. A huge amount of the puzzle is done pretty much on every single table. It's looking really good. So just keep going. You're almost done. You can do it in under 2 hours.
Yes.
There's still a little under 40 minutes left. So everything is possible. Yes, Marina, are you on a holiday or are you on a business trip?
No, I'm on a holiday with my family. We are in Spain.
Ooh,
So-
where in Spain?
Mallorca.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
How long still?
We are here for 1 week, but I'm here with my husband and 2 of our children, the 2 youngest ones.
Oh, lovely. It must be amazing.
Yes, it really is. But it's very warm, so.
But it also shows a good amount of dedication that you took the puzzle with you to participate in an EJJ even from a holiday.
Yeah, I could not left it at home.
Well, good thing you didn't.
Does it feel more like a holiday because you get to puzzle, or did you feel like you had to?
No, I really like to puzzle, so, but it's more like my family perhaps thinks that I'm puzzling too much, but I haven't. On this holiday, I try to not do so much, so yes, smaller puzzles, and then I did one 500 yesterday, but not so much.
Well, since you're on vacation, and a lot of people use that as like a little moment of reflection, to take a breath and everything. The theme of the day is, what are you proud of recently that's not puzzle related? So
Yeah.
I think we have read out yours, but it's nicer to hear it from you.
Yeah. All right. I didn't have the sound on when you read it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like when I had my last child. When after his birth, I had a really tough pregnancy with all my children. I have 3 children, and my body was like exhausted. And the last 7 months, I could not work. I could not walk so much. I just had to stay at home. And after the birth, my midwife told me that I probably would never run again. And I started running 2 years before that, and it was like so nice to come outside and be for myself for a while, and my thoughts and everything. And I thought it really broke me, but I am a bit stubborn. So I said, this cannot be the end of it. So from the beginning, it was just to go outside, to go to the mailbox. And then I was like walking 100 meters with my child in the stroller, and doing that more and more. And it was almost like a year after his birth that I could run a bit. And then I ran a little bit more, and I also did some training for my body's sake. And after, it took me like, I ran some like 5K and 1 mile and so. But after 3 years, I was in like the Swedish, it's called Lidingöloppet. It's a trail that it's a bit hard because it's so much like up and downs, and it was 3 miles. And when I finished that race, yeah, I was so happy, like my tears was falling, and I said, I really showed that you can do almost everything. If someone tells you that is not possible, you can still do it if you really want, and try to do your best all the time. Then I said to me, okay, this can't. Perhaps I can run a little bit longer. I want to do like a marathon, and then I thought perhaps even longer than a marathon. And then I ran. It's called Ultravasan. It's in the same. If you heard about Vasaloppet, it's a very famous ski race in Sweden. That's one of the longest and ski race in the world. It's famous for, and it's in the same place. But this was like 45 kilometers, and also a bit tough because of the where you ran. And I also made that one through.
So what I'm hearing is the best way to get you to like really go for something is to tell you that you can't do it. That's what I'm hearing.
What I was hearing out of the whole thing is that you're talking about running like 30 kilometers or 45 kilometers, and then you're like, it was a bit tough.
Yeah. No, that's wildly impressive, and you should absolutely be proud of that. That's huge.
Yeah, I still remember when it was like 1 mile left, and my body was start to hurt, and I was thinking, okay, now it's only 1 mile. I can't stop now. So just push through.
Oh wow!
Just push through.
Yeah.
Yeah, what like was that just sort of the mantra if like your body started hurting a little bit, and was just like,
yes,
okay, push
yeah.
through. And, okay.
Yeah, it's just pain leaving the body. So you can do it one step at a time. And also like, it's the most incredible feeling when you can accomplish something you really want to do. And also that progress don't have to be fast. You just have to do it a little bit at a time, and it will be better and better.
Yeah, I was thinking it took you mentioned that it took like 3 years to get to the point to be able to do that. There's not a lot of people that are willing to set a goal and be like, okay, it's going to take me 3 years. It's going to take me a year plus in order to get to that. And I think that really speaks to your gumption to hit your goals, and like the amount of planning and the awareness of, yes, this will take a while, but it's important to me to be able to do it. Like that having that Venn diagram overlap in such a way that really gets you to success. That's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's like when you start puzzling. My first time was like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. So.
Oh well, and now you're up here, cruising at that, skirting the hour line and under. I'm just excited to see where you go, because if putting that much effort into something is really impressive.
Yeah.
It's the dedication that I find incredible.
Thank you.
Oh,
yes, and now, as far as I have understood, you're putting the same amount of dedication into speed puzzling as well.
Yes, I do.
But do you still run?
I haven't run because I was like, I had some mental health problem, and after my mother died, and I had some issues. But like 1.5 months ago, I have started like training much and eating better and doing so. I run now. I started running again.
Have you
that
thought
is
about,
really nice to hear.
Have you thought about weightlifting your puzzles? It's like putting them all on the end of the dumbbells and.
Yeah, that would be. If you have a lot of puzzle, it's weight a lot.
I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was E.B. Karen EB and a couple other people, they would do planks while puzzling a 100-piece puzzle. And so they would have to like put a piece in and then go back to plank and put a piece in and go back to yeah. So that might be a way to like do a crossover event of the Marina cinematic universe of awesomeness. Oh man. Well, we don't want to keep you too long because I know you need to like go celebrate and enjoy life and soak
The
into
holiday.
a little bit.
Yeah, take care of my family.
There any sort of shout outs or anything you want to say to the puzzle world before we let you go?
Have fun. It's the most important thing, and then everything else will come with it. But if you're not having fun puzzling, then you have to think about what can I do to make it fun again.
Yes, that is very, very good advice.
Absolutely. Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you too. Thank you.
Bye.
Have fun, everyone. Bye-bye.
And just taking a look at our leaderboard right now in this 50 plus EJJ, we have 93 finishers.
It's happening.
It is happening. We have 107 people. How many are still puzzling? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 13 people still puzzling.
And I'm looking at the screens for a lot of these folks. It seems like the vast majority of people are either at that lettuce stage or they're down in the seed packets. I can see a couple of vegetables still being cooked on little by little, but everybody is doing a really, really wonderful job. Keep making progress, right? Even at this stage when you've been going for an hour and a half, look at those groups and keep chugging away. We believe in you.
I just wanted to point out that Michelle or one of the EJJ elves might want to look at Ramon's result because it shows 3 hours and 1 minute, which is definitely not correct.
It's just a time traveler.
Could be a time traveler as well. Yes, Ramon.
Welcome to this time zone. Wherever you came from.
Yeah, someone's going to take a look at that and it's going to be corrected, so no worries. We're just making jokes here.
I'm not. I fully believe in time travelers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I read one of the books by Stephen Hawking where he's talking about obviously time travel and everything else. And there's this fun story that he actually posted a flyer of like inviting time travelers to a party in a past event when he was literally sitting in his office waiting for time travelers, apparently. And unfortunately, he didn't get any time travelers.
To be fair, the modes of outreach at that point are a little different. Like if you just put a flyer up versus whatever emails,
yeah, but since it turned into a story in a book as well, people know the story by now. So any future time traveler could still have gone back there.
I'm gonna steal this pun from Easily Distracted by Puzzles real quick, who said, "Everyone must believe they can do it." Just slow clap for that one. I want us to bring Hannah on for a quick chat and hangout. Hannah, you around?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Hannah.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hey, congratulations on a job well done. How does it feel?
It was good. It was such a pretty image. I really thought I could get under an hour, and then I got to the tomatoes and the lettuce, and I was like, oh, it's not going to happen. But it was really fun. It was a really cool puzzle.
I always get a kick out of it whenever people can be chunking down on something, and even though it's hard, they're still having a good time with it. I think that's kind of the important part of puzzling overall.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Oh man. Well, tell us a little bit about how you tried to approach this and what was going through your mind whenever you got to those tough parts.
I have been trying a new strategy where I don't do a flip at the beginning. I sort everything at the beginning or pick and place, depending on what the image is. So I did a full sort of everything. So the onion, the peas, all the text went into one pile. The seeds got pulled separately. The lettuce sort of got put in a green pile, and the edge. And then I just sort of tackled them one by one pile by one, until I had just the green left.
That is some things I have been hearing from multiple people that they're turning to this strategy recently. I don't know where it started from, but how did it work out for you?
I think it's pretty good. I haven't noticed a huge difference whether I do that one or if I do like a traditional speed puzzle approach, but I've been seeing somebody do it on Instagram. And it made me sort of want to try it. And I have noticed that when I do that and then I immediately do a puzzle the traditional way, I feel like I'm going faster. I don't know if it's because I was going a little more intentionally slower before, and then I feel like I can move a little faster. But yeah, I think so far it's been working out well. I don't know if I'll stick with it forever, but so far so good.
It's cool. It's cool to try different strategies and just see what like feels good in your body and your system, the way that it sits. Is that like, I know for the high level speed runs where people are doing the same puzzle over again, like Zen does that sort of not bothering with sort and just like perfect placement kind of a thing, and that's really cool when you know the image inside and out. But I imagine it's a little trickier to do it whenever you look at the image for all of 4 seconds before having to tear into it. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's definitely a little different than if you do like a pick and place that you've done, a puzzle that you've done over and over and over again. And for like the USA JPA speed runs, I think that's what the fastest puzzlers do. Don't bother wasting time with the flip. Just pick up each piece once and put it exactly where it goes. So
yeah. Being able to do that on a unreleased puzzle is really tricky. Whenever you were approaching this one, did you treat it differently because it was unreleased, or because you knew you had no idea what it was going to be, or did you just kind of go in, this is the strategy that I'm going to use no matter what?
I sort of have two. I have either it's going to be a pick and place or it's going to be a sort. So when I look at the image beforehand, I usually have like 30 seconds to make a decision about it. I'm not one of those people that has like 700 Ravensburgers or has every puzzle, especially with the EJJs that are a lot of European brands that I don't have necessarily a lot of. So like it's not very often that I open a puzzle in any contest and I go, oh, I've done it before. Usually everything is a new release for me. So that doesn't really change my strategy. And especially with these, like I know that they're going to be an image I haven't seen before. So not really a strategy change there.
It's also, I have this feeling that sometimes it's better to like have more first tries, as in it kind of gets boring at one point if you keep getting puzzles that you have done before at competitions.
Mm-hmm.
That's also kind of why I like the unreleased puzzles. But in general, like that's also a skill that you have to develop in speed puzzling to be able to make these rash decisions without really knowing the picture.
Yeah, it is like a skill that you can train, just like getting your hands moving faster or how you approach a puzzle. Looking at it the first time and then having to immediately make a decision about how you're going to approach it is like a skill that I feel like you do have to train by just doing images that you haven't seen before.
I agree very much.
Yeah, being able to quickly estimate, okay, is this going to be a large project or a straightforward one? I think a lot of puzzlers saw that seeds text and went, oh, this is nice, and it pops out really well, and then aimed right for it. And that can work out. It can also be really difficult for some puzzlers. Like for me, that would drive me crazy, but I also saw a lot of puzzlers like go in and just like crush it, which is wildly impressive to my pea brain that couldn't do it. So
It was harder than I thought, the seeds. But the other nice thing about sorting everything in piles earlier is that it also helps me identify like what has like a lot of text. Like I think I might have tried to go for the seeds, the big seeds in the middle first, but I was like, oh, that pile's getting a little bigger than I thought it would. I'm gonna do like the littler text first because it's easy to pull like just little the red high grade letters, and then the Louisville, Kentucky letters, and then the wooden stub statesman stuff, and then I went to the seeds later. So making the piles also helps. Like you want to try and attack like the smaller projects first, so then you have like a framework and you can fill in all the rest later.
Oh, that's a really good trick for people that do a lot of sorting to keep in mind. That's really great.
You mean going for the smaller project first?
Yeah. The smaller projects first, and then when I feel like I'm getting stuck, usually I do the edge, and then I can sort of put everything where it goes and start filling in the holes.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I very much get that as well. It's actually one thing that was not revealed to me recently, but like it's something that I never like consciously did, of like going for the smallest project, and like I needed someone to literally say it out loud to me at one point, because like I don't know if I did it before, but now I'm actually paying attention to it.
Yeah, smallest projects or a color or a texture that's not repeated are usually like the first things that I try to go to. So like I really thought the onion would be a little easier because I thought it was going to be easier to find, but it was all the gradient sort of and texture change helped, but that was a little trickier than I thought. But it's the only thing that's like yellow, but it's also yellow and brown and there's lines, and it was a little trickier than I thought.
Yeah, well, even making some progress on that kind of project and then moving on to something else once you hit that wall, that's a pro move right there, being like, ah, this is a little tricky, let me hop over to something else.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh man, have you been taking like practice and prep a little more aggressively lately, or?
Kind of the opposite. Like it's the summer and I don't have a lot of upcoming like competitions or anything. So I sort of wanted to intentionally take a break. I've been doing like some bigger piece counts. I've been doing more casual puzzling. I just did a 3D puzzle for the first time, which was wild. Like 1,000 piece or 800 piece European castle. That was fun.
Oh, wow.
And now I found on Facebook Marketplace a 1,200 piece grandfather clock puzzle that actually works. So it's going to be like 4 feet tall, and like you can actually hang it on the wall, and it can be like a clock. So I'm working on that, but it's hard because everything's brown. So it's taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. But I'm so excited for when it's done and we can actually have a puzzle clock in our house.
Is there any way that you can show the progress that you have made so far? Like I so badly want to see it, or at least the box. I can't even imagine it.
So here's one sorted box, and here's other sorted pieces. Let me see if I can show the image. I just have varying different shades of brown on trays all over my puzzle room. Can I show this without spilling all the pieces? This is what it'll look like.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
This is so cool.
That is fantastic, and I'm extremely jealous.
I was so excited. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have this.
Where? What? How? What brand is that?
I found it on Facebook Marketplace. It's actually not that old. It's a bits and pieces puzzle. It's from the 2000s. I was shocked. I thought it was going to be way older than that. But it's not super old. Does it have the year on here? I know I've been able to find it at some point. And I can't see it right here, but it's a bits and pieces puzzle. A 1,200 piece grandfather clock. You could probably Google it and find it.
I'm looking it up now. I can't.
She's like, it's already in my shopping cart. I'm buying it right now.
Hannah, when you start to work on it, do you go, it's puzzling time?
I don't, but I should.
Oh, okay.
I will now.
The German grandfather clock.
Go-to channel.
Yes.
I do want to just do a quick update. We have 5 puzzlers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have about 5 puzzlers remaining, and we are at the hour 45 and 30-second line. So keep pushing, everybody. This is doable. We might be able to clear the room.
Woo! Ooh, I think it's possible. That lettuce is hard. Oh, interesting. Someone's finishing on the seeds letters. Yeah, those are tricky. I think if you don't like text, that's a reasonable place to end.
Yeah. I'm right there. I'm right there with you. As soon as the text gets larger than the individual pieces, my brain starts to melt rapidly.
I like text. That's my favorite part of puzzles.
Oh man. Well, the theme for today is about what is something non-puzzling accomplishment or milestone that you're particularly proud of. So Hannah, tell us a little bit about yours.
Yeah, I put my sports reporting is something that I'm particularly proud of. So I am not a full-time reporter right now, but for about a decade prior, I was working as a sports reporter in a variety of roles. So I worked at a couple different local papers covering high school and college sports there. And I've also been covering women's hockey since like 2014. I started in like blogs, just like writing for fun in college, and then eventually got a job managing a website called The Ice Garden, which was covering women's hockey specifically at all levels, so college, pro, in different countries. There's an Australian league, there's European leagues, there's a Swedish league, there's Finnish leagues, there's US leagues, Canada. So being able to do that is something that I'm really proud of. I've done a variety of different podcasts. I've traveled to different places all over Canada and the US to do reporting on women's hockey. I got a grant when I was in college to do research with the Women's Hockey League.
Whoa.
Yeah, and now I'm not a full-time reporter anymore, but I still do freelance pieces, local stories for like mostly rec sports leagues around my area. And that's really fun. It's been really meaningful because now I get to pick and choose what I want to write about. And so I can find like the best stories and like just claim them for myself and get to talk to really cool people.
That is so incredible. It's also something like completely foreign to me. Like I don't know anything about sport, like literally nothing. So I find it fascinating when someone has like something that is so like unrelated to anything that I do.
I think speed puzzling is a sport. I know that's a contentious topic, but I think it is.
No, I very much agree. But like anything else that is like actual traditional sports is like I don't know. I'm completely out.
Yeah. It's fun reporting on them because you learn a lot. Like when you're like I covered a lot of hockey, but when you're covering high school sports, you have to do everything. So like the most recent place that I worked at, the first day I walked in, they were like, "You're going to a gymnastics meet," and I was like, "I did gymnastics when I was like 6, and that's the last time I've been in a gymnastics gym. So I guess I'm going to go and learn about gymnastics tonight." And you just go and you talk to people and learn. Like I have sort of a Swiss Army knife information about most different sports except like cricket, honestly, like sports that aren't commonly played in the US, or like curling. But most everything else I have like a cursory knowledge of, which is very useful when you're talking to people and you can perk somebody's ears up when you have a little bit of knowledge about something.
Well, what is like the weirdest sport that you had to do reporting on?
I hate to interrupt. Dora just finished Under the Timeline. Congratulations.
Yay!
Congratulations!
Excellent.
Yay! Also, Dora's mascot is watching from behind the table. I can see them.
Cute. Cute.
We're all super
incredible.
I've covered Ultimate Frisbee. I once covered it was a ballet and archery workshop. So it was like half of the day was spent dancing and the other half was spent doing archery. And so it was
the same people?
Mm-hmm. It was like trying to relate the two sports together, like having an awareness of your body with ballet, and that's also something that you have to do with archery. It like wasn't the most. I think it was just to get people into the archery studio, but it was kind of interesting. I don't think a lot of people are going to be doing ballet archery in the future.
It sounds like a niche.
Extremely, maybe the only place that's ever done it.
Yeah, that sounds like a very random thing. I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's probably the strangest one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like probably, but I've written so many pieces at this point that it's like they all just blur together. It's really hard for me to like keep them straight unless it's like something that I've really enjoyed.
What's something that you've picked up doing so many different sports and like very specific outreach kind of things that like what's something that you've picked up that more people just around the world should either know about or try to implement?
Ooh. Hmm. What's something that I've picked up that more people around the world should know or try to implement? I mean, I think when it comes down to it, everybody that I've talked to, I prefer covering like high school and college level sports more than I do professional, which is not common. But it's because when you talk to everybody, everyone is usually like just trying their hardest. Like that, it's very similar. Whoever you talk to across whatever sport, um, and so I think that earnestness is cool. And sometimes people don't think that like trying hard and failing is like worth it. But if unless you actually try hard, then it's like you won't know. You won't know what you're capable of. And so my favorite stories are like the cross country race that I got to cover. So in cross country, you are running an individual race, but you also the place that you finish is the number of points you score. And it goes up to 5. That's how many and then that's your team score is your top 5 runners places. And then sometimes your 6th and 7th runners are the tiebreakers. So I wrote a story about how like the 6th runner who finished on this team, so she's not the fastest, but it was the place that she finished that allowed them to break the tie and win like a championship or a title. So like getting to talk to somebody who like tried hard and wasn't like the biggest name, but still did something. Is my favorite. So earnestness is cool. TLDR.
I also think that applies very, very well to speed puzzling as well. It's again something that you can implement very, very well
to anything. Like it's not just sports, like just your life, period. Whatever it is you're doing. Speed puzzling, cooking, running. I was excited listening to Marina talk about running. That's also something I do, although it's hard to split time between speed puzzling and running and doing other things.
Unless you get, like one of those straps with a table on it that has stabilizers. That would be maybe.
It's like those races where you have to run with beer. It's like that, just with puzzle pieces.
You run a track race, and every lap you have to stop and do a puzzle before you do another lap. I like this. This is something. I'm gonna do this.
I've also heard about one of those things where they tried to connect playing chess with boxing.
Oh yeah, chess boxing. It's a good time.
What is chess? I've never heard of that. What is that?
Playing chess. Like, who wouldn't want to play chess with a mild concussion?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact like rule parameter, but it's like you do a round of boxing and then you go and play chess with the time limits that stop whenever the round of boxing is on. So it's entirely possible to knock someone out if you're like in a, oh no, they're gonna give me mate in 3 and just like milk the clock. Or you could be like, I am just going to turtle up while boxing and hope that I can win the chess match.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. That would be a fun story to do. That's so confusing.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, we want to try to bring Richard on here right before the end. So I'm sorry to cut us a little short. Do you have any words of wisdom or shout outs you want to give to Puzzle World or anybody before we let you go?
I think somebody's already made this pun, but belief in yourself.
Yes. We believe.
We believe. Team belief.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Hannah, and congrats on your puzzling today, and also on a fantastic reporting career. Like, that's all really impressive and wonderful stuff.
It was lovely to hear. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to cover some more stuff for a feature I'm working on tonight, so it's top of mind for me.
Oh, that's so cool. Well,
yeah.
let us know whenever it comes out. You see what I did there? The let us know.
Ah.
Yeah, whenever it comes out, and we'll all share it and get the whole puzzlegram.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I'll let you guys talk to your next interviewee.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Talk to you for a bit.
And we actually have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes, and Micha is down to maybe 20 pieces. So just keep going. You can do it. And I can see
Sylvia,
the smile. He's
you are-
listening to us. Just keep going.
Sylvia, you're in the pocket. This is so doable. We believe in you.
We believe in everyone. It's so close. You can still do it. It's possible. 4 minutes left.
All right. Well, Richard, do you want to hop on for a minute? We can say hi to you.
Hi there.
Hi, Richard.
So we're about to clear the room, are we then? Just one
We got 2 left, so there's a good
person
shot.
left.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations on a really, really good time on this one. Very well done, sir.
Thank you. By my standards, pretty reasonable.
No, it was an incredible job. But mostly what I wanted to ask is, what did you switch from as a profession that you loved, and what was it that you switched into?
Ah, well, this is interesting that you should have asked me that question, because I was hearing about your studies, Frusi, and there's a link there with my current profession, because I was a language teacher, and not in a school. I was teaching adults as a kind of teaching English as a foreign language, which I really enjoyed, and I had some amazing students, some real high flyers. I was based in Finland, and I had a wonderful opportunity to work with really amazing people in big companies and ministries and things, and as well as more ordinary students on the factory floor. So I really enjoyed that work, but I realized that the days were long, and I was pushing 30 by then, and I thought, I can't do this for another 35 years, starting at 7:30 in the morning and getting back to the school at 9 in the evening to start prepping for the following day. I just realized that it would be burnout. Plus, it was very poorly paid, and also it was all about other people's language skills, and I kind of felt I wanted to work on my own skills as a linguist. And so I took this decision that evidently you took at some stage in your life, to study conference interpreting.
Yeah.
And I sort of terminated a kind of open-ended employment contract, living in a foreign country where I had no support network, basically. And I thought, well, it's kind of now or never, and this could actually be a total disaster, and I might have to go crawling back to the school I worked for and say, can you have me back? But anyway, thankfully that didn't happen. I survived the course, and it meant leaving Finland to kind of make, some money out of it. So that's when I moved from Helsinki to Brussels back in the early 2000s, and thankfully since then I've been able to work regularly as a conference interpreter.
Oh, it's so incredible. I don't mean to cut you off though, but we have just 1 minute, and Micha is done, and I'm so happy.
Brilliant.
Congratulations. And Sylvia, just keep going. You still have 40 seconds to go. Just a couple of more pieces. You're so close. You can still make some pieces fit into place. That's also going to count.
You can do it. Just a few more.
It would be a really historic moment, and it would be quite a privilege to be party to it.
Clearing the room. Oh, yes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Well, I just want to mention that, Richard, you did half an hour before the time limit. You've been very close to the time limit, so it's really great to see you finish today. And we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Well done, Sylvia. That was
incredible
2
job,
hours.
Sylvia.
So congratulations to everyone.
Beautiful puzzle.
Who participated today, and well done to Misha for sneaking in there in the last moments, and also a shout out to Misha and Caro, who got married on Friday. So
yes. So a shout out to Caro as well, who is most likely there too.
Yeah, Caro is our teammate from Jigsaw Jam, so we're very happy. for them.
Hello.
Yay! And yeah, and Misha hasn't done many 500 solos by himself. He's done a few pairs with Caro, so that's really great to see him finish in the time limit. So yeah, and thank you for sharing your story, Richard. I love that that you trusted yourself to give it a go, because yeah, you could always just go back and on your knees asking for your job back, but look at you now, you're in Belgium, speaking all different languages and popping up at every puzzle competition. So it looks like it paid off. It was worth it. Yeah. So thank you everyone for this competition, and for Fruji and Jim for being our co-hosts and following the action with us, and to everyone who joined us in the chat. So thanks again, and we'll see you at the next competition. Good night, everyone.
Congrats,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.